I'm sitting in my car in a Target parking lot in suburban Phoenix, Arizona. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, 107 degrees outside. The asphalt is shimmering with heat waves. The parking lot is the size of 3 football fields. And I'm crying. Not happy tears, not relief to be home tears, not I missed this place tears. I'm crying because I just spent 20 minutes trying to buy shampoo, and there were 147 different options, and I couldn't handle it. I'm crying because the cashier asked, "How are you today?" And I actually started to answer honestly, and she looked confused and scared. I'm crying because I just paid $8 for a bottle of shampoo that costs €2 in Berlin. But mostly, I'm crying because after 3 years living in Europe, I came home to America, and nothing feels right anymore. I moved to Berlin 3 years ago for work. I lived there for 2 years, then spent a year bouncing around France, Netherlands, and Switzerland. It was supposed to be temporary. It wasn't supposed to change me, but it did. And when I came back to America 6 months ago, I experienced something I wasn't prepared for: reverse culture shock. That's the weird, disorienting feeling when your home country suddenly feels foreign, when the place you grew up becomes the strange place, when everyone else is acting normal and you're the one who feels like an alien. Nobody warns you about this. Everyone talks about culture shock when you leave, the adjustment period, the homesickness, the feeling of being an outsider. But nobody tells you that coming home is harder, because when you're abroad, you expect to feel different. You're a visitor, an outsider. Of course, things are weird. But when you come home and your own country feels weird, when your family and friends are acting totally normal and you're the one who can't adjust, that's when you realize you didn't just visit Europe for 3 years. You changed, and you can't unchange. Today, I'm going to tell you about every moment that broke my brain when I came back to America. Every conversation that made me uncomfortable. Every system that suddenly felt wrong. Every time I thought, wait, is this what we've been doing the whole time? This isn't about hating America. I love America. I was born here, my family is here, my life is here. But loving something means being honest about it. And honestly, coming home was harder than leaving ever was. Welcome to the social glitch. Let's talk about reverse culture shock that nobody prepared me for.
I land at JFK after a 9-hour flight from Amsterdam. I'm exhausted, jet-lagged, disoriented. I go to the bathroom, and I see the gaps. You know what I'm talking about. The giant gaps in American bathroom stall doors, the cracks you can see through, the space at the bottom where you can see people's feet, the doors that don't reach the ceiling. After 3 years of European bathrooms with actual privacy, doors that go floor to ceiling, no gaps, actual walls, American bathroom stalls feel like a human rights violation. I'm standing there thinking, how did I use these for 25 years and never question it? A woman walks by. We make accidental eye contact through the door gap. We both look away, embarrassed. This is my welcome home moment. Eye contact through a bathroom stall gap at JFK. Welcome back to America.
I'm waiting for my luggage at baggage claim, and everyone is so loud. I mean, deafeningly, aggressively. Why are you yelling? We're right here, loud. People on phones talking at full volume about their entire life story. Groups of travelers laughing and shouting like they're at a sports bar. Announcements blaring from speakers at a volume that makes my ears hurt. After 3 years of quiet European public spaces, American volume hits like a physical assault. I pull out my headphones, put them in, don't even play music, just need the buffer. And that's when I realize, I used to be this loud. 3 years ago, I was one of these people. Talking at maximum volume in public spaces, never even noticing. Now, I'm the person wincing and covering their ears. My brother picks me up. We get to his car. It's a Ford F-150, giant, lifted, takes up 1.5 parking spaces.
you got a new truck, I say. Yeah, isn't it awesome? I barely even use the bed, but I just like sitting up high. I think about the last car I was in, my friend's Renault in Paris. Tiny, fuel efficient, fit in parking spaces that looked impossibly small. We parallel parked in spaces that would be considered motorcycle only in America. It's big, I say. Hell yeah, it's big. This is America, baby. Go big or go home. We drive out of the airport. Every third car is a massive SUV or truck, many of them pristinely clean, clearly never used for actual work. Just big, because big. On the highway, we pass a parking lot, just a parking lot, for a mall, and it's huge. Acres of asphalt, maybe 10% full. I take a photo, send it to my friend in Amsterdam with the caption, "This parking lot is bigger than your entire neighborhood." She replies, "Why you need a parking lot that big?" I don't have an answer. Day 2. I need groceries. My brother drops me off at a Kroger. I walk in, and I freeze. The store is massive, like airplane hangar massive. The cereal aisle alone is longer than the entire grocery store I used to go to in Berlin. I need bread, just bread. There are 47 types of bread. White, wheat, whole grain, multigrain, honey wheat, Italian, French, sourdough, potato, everything, sesame, organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, keto, paleo, each brand in multiple sizes. I stand there for 5 minutes. I can't choose. My brain has short-circuited. In Berlin, my local bakery had 5 types of bread. All of them were good. I picked one. It took 10 seconds. Here, I'm having an existential crisis in the bread aisle. I moved to yogurt. Same problem. An entire 50-foot section of just yogurt. Greek, Icelandic, Australian, regular, low-fat, non-fat, fruit on the bottom, fruit mixed in, protein-enhanced, probiotic-boosted, organic, conventional, 200-plus options. I used to think this was freedom, abundance, the American dream. Now it feels oppressive, overwhelming, designed to make you feel like you're making the wrong choice no matter what you pick. I buy the first bread I see and leave. I'm sweating. My heart is racing. That's when the Target parking lot breakdown happens, an hour later. Day 5. I need to refill a prescription for my thyroid medication. The same medication I've been taking for years. In Berlin, this cost me €5. With my German insurance, it was fully covered. I walked into an apotheke, showed my prescription, walked out with my medication. Total time, 8 minutes. Here, I need to 1. Find a doctor who's accepting new patients. 2. Make an appointment, first available 6 weeks out. 3. Pay a $40 copay for the appointment. 4. Get a new prescription written. 5. Take it to a pharmacy. Pay $127 for a 30-day supply. I tell the pharmacist there must be a mistake. That's with your insurance, she says. This is $5 in Germany. She shrugs. Welcome back to America. I pay it. I need the medication. I don't have a choice. I sit in my car and do the math. This medication costs me $1,524 per year in America. In Germany, it cost me €60 per year. Same medication, same manufacturer, same dosage. I'm paying 25 times more for the same pills. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I have insurance. I can afford it. Barely. I think about all the people who can't. All the people rationing insulin. All the people not filling prescriptions because they have to choose between medication and rent. And I think about how we call this freedom. I'm at a family dinner, 4th of July weekend. Everyone's excited to see me, asking about Europe. My uncle asks, "So, are you glad to be back in the land of the free?" "Europe is pretty free too," I say. He laughs. "Come on. They have kings and queens, socialism, high taxes. That's not freedom. They have universal health care, free college, 6 weeks vacation, strong labor protections. That's not freedom, that's government control. I take a breath. Uncle Mike, in Germany, people don't go bankrupt for medical bills. In France, workers get mandatory vacation. In Denmark, college students get paid to study. That feels pretty free to me. But they pay 50% in taxes. And they get healthcare, education, childcare, retirement, and don't worry about going bankrupt if they get sick. Americans pay less in taxes but paid $2,000 a month for health insurance that doesn't even cover everything. He shakes his head. I'd rather have the freedom to choose. Choose what? Choose to go into debt? Choose to not go to the doctor because you can't afford it? My aunt interrupts. Let's not talk politics at dinner. We change the subject, but I'm sitting there thinking, how is dying from lack of insulin freedom? How is choosing between medication and rent freedom? We're not the land of the free. We're the land of the free to go bankrupt.
I'm out with old friends from college. We're at a bar, everyone's drinking, having fun. I mentioned something about European work culture, how people take real lunch breaks, leave work at 5 p.m., don't check emails on weekends. My friend Sarah says, that sounds lazy. It's not lazy. They're more productive per hour worked than Americans. They just have better work-life balance. Americans work hard. That's what makes us great. Americans work long hours. That's not the same as working hard, and we have less to show for it. We work 400 more hours per year than Germans and have worse healthcare, less vacation, lower life expectancy. Then why don't you just stay there if it's so great? The table goes quiet. That phrase, if you don't like it, leave. It's designed to shut down conversation, to make criticism seem unpatriotic, to enforce the myth that America is perfect and questioning it means you hate it. I came back, I say quietly, because my family is here. But coming back doesn't mean I have to pretend the system works when it clearly doesn't. It works for me, Sarah says. You're 28 and still on your parents' health insurance. You have $60,000 in student loans, you work 50 hours a week, and haven't taken a vacation in 2 years. Does it really work for you? She doesn't answer. Nobody does. We change the subject. I'm at a coffee shop, run into an old coworker. We catch up. I mention I lived in Berlin. He immediately says, I heard Europeans are really jealous of America. Jealous of what? Our success, our innovation, our freedom. That's why they're always talking about us. They're not jealous, they're confused. They can't understand why the richest country on earth treats its citizens worse than countries with a fraction of our resources. We don't treat our citizens badly. We have the highest maternal mortality rate in the developed world. Parents go back to work 6 weeks after giving birth because we have no parental leave. Kids practice active shooter drills. Medical bankruptcy is the leading cause of bankruptcy. How is that not treating citizens badly? Other countries have problems too. Yes, but they've solved problems we claim are unsolvable. Universal healthcare isn't theoretical. It exists in every other developed country and works better than our system. But we have the best hospitals in the world. For the 1% who can afford them, the best healthcare system in the world is one where everyone can access care, not one where only rich people can. He changes the subject. I realize people don't want to hear this. It's too uncomfortable. It challenges the foundational myth we've been taught since kindergarten. America's the best. America is number one. Anyone who questions this is unpatriotic. But love isn't blind acceptance. Love is honest critique with the goal of improvement. I love America enough to tell the truth about it. Most Americans don't want to hear the truth. I'm talking to my cousin. She's asking about Europe. Do you ever think about moving back? She asks. Sometimes. Life is just easier there in a lot of ways. But you can't just abandon America. Moving isn't abandoning. Americans move between states all the time. Why is moving between countries different? Because America's home. Home is where you build a life. And honestly, it's easier to build a life in Europe. No medical debt, no student loans, actual vacation time, parental leave, affordable childcare. But don't you miss American things? Like what? She thinks. Free refills, big box stores, Target. I almost laugh. We've been convinced that free refills and big box stores are worth giving up healthcare and economic security. It's not that bad here. It's not bad for you. You're healthy, employed, have family support, but one medical emergency could change everything. One layoff, one accident. The system works until it doesn't, and when it doesn't, it destroys you. That's really negative. It's realistic. I love America, but I can't unsee what I learned abroad. Other countries have figured out how to take care of their people. We could too. We just choose not to. So what, you're just gonna move back to Europe? I don't know, but I know that the America I came back to isn't the America I thought I left. I'm staying with my brother in Phoenix. Everything is a 15-minute drive, minimum. Grocery store, drive. Coffee shop, drive. Friend's house 3 miles away, drive. There's no sidewalks on most streets, no bike lanes, no bus that goes anywhere useful. In Berlin, I walked or biked everywhere, took the U-Bahn if it was far. I didn't own a car for 2 years and never needed one. The freedom of movement without car dependency was incredible. Here, I'm trapped. I can't go anywhere without borrowing my brother's truck. Why don't you just buy a car, he asks. Because I don't want to spend $400 plus per month on a car payment, insurance, gas, and maintenance just to participate in society. That's just how it is here. But it doesn't have to be. American cities used to have incredible public transit. We destroyed it to build highways and suburbs, and now we're imprisoned by car dependency. You're being dramatic. Am I? You spend 2 hours a day in traffic. You pay $600 a month for your truck. You sit in a metal box breathing exhaust fumes. If you lose your license, you lose access to your job, your groceries, your social life. That's not freedom, that's car dependency. He doesn't have a response. Because it's true, and everyone knows it. We just don't talk about it. I'm at a restaurant with friends. The bill comes. Everyone starts calculating tips. 20% minimum, someone says. The service was fine, but not exceptional, I say. Why are we tipping 20%? Everyone looks at me like I just said something horrible. Servers make $2.13 an hour. They rely on tips. Right, so we're directly paying their salary because their employer won't. That's not a tip. That's a mandatory fee disguised as generosity. That's just how it works here. But it doesn't work anywhere else. In Europe, servers make a living wage. Tipping is optional for exceptional service. Prices are higher, but you know what you're paying. No mental math, no guilt, no subsidizing employers who refuse to pay their workers. If we didn't tip, servers would make nothing. Exactly, which is why the system is broken. We're fighting over tips while restaurant owners make millions paying poverty wages. And we've been convinced this is normal. I tip 20%. I always do. The server didn't create this system, but I'm angry about it, and I can't pretend it's normal anymore. I'm at Cheesecake Factory with my family. I order a pasta dish. The plate arrives. It's comically large, easily 1,500 calories, enough food for 3 meals. My mom, aren't you gonna finish? This is enough food for 3 people. You've been gone too long. This is a normal portion. This is 3 meals of food on 1 plate. No wonder we have an obesity crisis. My dad, at least you get your money's worth. Do you, though? You pay $18, eat half, take the rest home, and it sits in your fridge until you throw it away. wouldn't you rather pay $12 for an appropriate portion that you actually enjoy? That's not the American way. He's joking, but he's also not. Excess is the American way. Bigger is better, more is success. But after 3 years of European portions, meals that leave you satisfied but not uncomfortably full, plates you can actually finish, food that's about quality, not quantity, American portions feel grotesque. I'm talking to my friend Lisa. She's telling me about her job. I hate it, she says. My boss is a nightmare. The hours are brutal. I'm burned out. So quit. I can't. Why not? Health insurance. And there it is, the invisible chain keeping millions of Americans trapped in jobs they hate. What if you got a different job? Most places make you wait 90 days before insurance kicks in. I can't risk 3 months without coverage. What if something happens? In Germany, healthcare isn't tied to employment. You don't lose coverage when you change jobs. Must be nice. It is. People start businesses, change careers, take sabbaticals. Risk doesn't mean risking your health. Well, we don't have that here. We could. Every other developed country figured it out. Yeah, but we're America. We do things differently. Different doesn't mean better. She goes back to her job she hates because she can't afford not to. This is freedom? Americans are friendly, super friendly. Smile at strangers, wave to neighbors, chat with cashiers. But after 3 years in Europe, American friendliness feels hollow. How are you today? I'm actually pretty stressed about, that's great, have a nice day. They're not actually asking. It's a greeting, a script, not a real question. In Germany, people don't ask, how are you, unless they want to know. And if you say you're bad, they sit down and ask what's wrong. American friendliness is wide but shallow. European friendliness is narrow but deep. Americans are friendly to everyone but close to few. Europeans are distant to most but loyal to some. Neither is better, just different. But coming back, the shallow friendliness feels exhausting. All these surface-level interactions that mean nothing. I'm helping my brother with a home improvement project. Hand me the 3/8-inch drill bit, he says. I stare at his toolbox. There's like 40 drill bits, none of them labeled. Which one is 3/8? The one that's 3/8 of an inch. I don't know what that means. After 3 years of metric, imperial measurements feel like a prank. What's 3/8 of an inch? Why are we using fractions? Why isn't everything in units of 10? Metric is simple. 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Imperial is chaos. 12 inches equals 1 foot. 3 feet equals 1 yard. 1,760 yards equals 1 mile. Why? Because screw you, that's why. The entire world uses metric, I say. America's different. America's wrong. It's just what we're used to. So was slavery. Being used to something doesn't make it good. He laughs, but I'm serious. We're one of 3 countries not using metric. The other 2 are Liberia and Myanmar. That's our company. It's Sunday. I need to buy a few things. I drive to Target. It's open, obviously. It's always open. And I realize I miss Sundays in Europe. In Germany, stores are closed on Sundays, legally required. Workers get a day off, families spend time together, cities are quiet. At first, I hated it. So inconvenient. What if I need something? But I adapted. I planned ahead. And Sundays became special, peaceful, a day of rest that actually meant something. Here, everything is open 24/7. Stores, restaurants, gyms. Capitalism never sleeps. But workers never rest either. The cashier at Target looks exhausted. It's 8 a.m. on a Sunday. In Germany, she'd be home with her family. Here, she's scanning my items for $14 an hour. This is freedom? Okay, I need to be honest. coming back wasn't all negative. There are things I missed about America, things that are genuinely better here. The space. America is big. Houses are big. Yards are big. Roads are big. Everything is spacious. European apartments are tiny. My Berlin apartment was 45 square meters, about 480 square feet, for $1,200 a month. My brother's house in Phoenix is 2,400 square feet for less money. I missed space, room to spread out, not hearing my neighbors' conversations through paper-thin walls. The diversity. America is incredibly diverse. Every ethnicity, every culture, every religion, all mixed together. Berlin was diverse too, but different, more segregated in some ways. I miss the American mixing pot, the genuine multiculturalism, the fact that American doesn't mean one ethnicity or religion. The optimism. Europeans are pragmatic, sometimes cynical. They've seen empires rise and fall. They don't believe in unlimited growth or manifest destiny. Americans are optimistic, sometimes delusionally so, but that optimism drives innovation, entrepreneurship, and change. I miss the American belief that anything is possible, the "we can figure this out" attitude. Even when it's misplaced, that optimism is infectious. The nature. America has incredible natural beauty, national parks that make European parks look like neighborhood gardens. I miss the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, Yellowstone, the Pacific Coast Highway, the diversity of landscapes. Europe is beautiful, but it's been settled for thousands of years. America still has wilderness. The informality. In Germany, you use formal Sie until invited to use informal Du. It can take months or years. In America, everyone's on a first-name basis immediately. The boss, the CEO, doesn't matter. I missed the informality, the lack of rigid hierarchy, the "we're all just people" attitude. 6 months after coming back, I'm still adjusting. Some days are fine. Some days I feel like an alien in my own country. I realized something important. Leaving changed me in ways I can't undo. I can't unsee the healthcare system's cruelty. I can't unknow that other countries treat workers better. I can't unexperience what life is like without medical debt anxiety. I can't pretend that this is just how things are when I've seen that things can be different. And that's uncomfortable, for me and for everyone around me. My family thinks I've become negative, ungrateful, anti-American. But I'm not anti-American, I'm anti-American exceptionalism. I'm against the lie that we're the best when we're demonstrably not the best at most things that matter. I'm against the lie that criticism equals hatred. I'm against the lie that suggesting improvements is unpatriotic. Real patriotism is wanting your country to be better. Real love means honest critique. And honestly, America could be so much better.
People keep asking me, "Are you glad you came back?" I don't know how to answer. I'm glad to be near my family. I'm glad to have space. I'm glad to speak English without thinking. But I miss not worrying about healthcare. I miss walkable cities. I miss work-life balance. I miss feeling like the system was designed for humans, not corporations. I don't regret going. I don't regret coming back, but I'm not the same person who left. And America isn't the same place I thought it was.
Reverse culture shock taught me, 1. Home is complicated. You can love a place and be frustrated by it. You can be grateful and critical. You can belong and feel like an outsider. All of these can be true at once. 2. Perspective is everything. Most Americans have never left America. They think this is just how life is. But it's not. It's just how life is here. There are different ways to organize society, different priorities, different outcomes. None perfect, but some better in specific ways. 3.
You can't go back. I'll never see America the way I did before I left. I've been changed by perspective. And that's okay. Growing means changing. Learning means evolving. I'm not trying to go back to who I was. I'm trying to integrate who I've become. If you've never left America, I'm not telling you that you have to. But I am saying, if you get the chance, go. Really go. Not resorts, not cruise ships. Real life in another country. Stay long enough to see past the tourist version. Long enough to understand how people actually live. And when you come back, because most of you will come back, don't let people gaslight you about what you saw. If you saw people living without medical debt anxiety, that's real. If you saw workers with 6 weeks vacation being more productive, that's real. If you saw communities thriving without car dependency, that's real. Don't let anyone tell you that wouldn't work here. It works there. We just choose not to do it. If you're American and you've never left, I challenge you. Talk to someone who's lived abroad. Really listen. Don't get defensive. Don't make excuses. Just listen. Ask yourself, why do we accept things that other countries solved decades ago? And if you're someone who came back from living abroad and you're struggling with reverse culture shock, you're not crazy. You're not ungrateful. You're not anti-American. You just can't unsee what you learned. And that's okay. Drop a comment. Have you experienced reverse culture shock? What surprised you most about coming back? What do you miss about living abroad? Americans who've never left, what questions do you have? Subscribe to The Social Glitch for more honest conversations about the systems we live in the myths we're told about them. Because the biggest glitch isn't leaving home and feeling foreign. It's coming home and realizing your home country was foreign all along. Thanks for watching. Stay uncomfortable, stay honest.